Is your water heater not getting hot at all? Today, I'm going to help you troubleshoot it and pinpoint the issue. All you're going to need is a screwdriver and a multimeter. First, check to see how many volts your water heater is supposed to be getting. You can find it on this sticker right here. Next, let's turn the breaker off and then back on. Now we'll check for power where the electrical comes into the water heater. Take this cover off. Typically what you can do is just shove your leads into the wire nuts, and I'm getting 240 volts. So I have power coming to the water heater. If I did not have power at these wire nuts, then there's either an issue with the breaker or the wire that comes to this water heater. Once I verify I have proper voltage where the electrical comes into the water heater, I'll move on to the thermostats. It can be found behind this panel. We'll move this insulation out of the way. And be careful because there is live wires in here. It's probably best to just go ahead and turn the power off while you expose this. Go ahead and pull this plastic panel off the top. And now you're looking at the thermostat. Now we'll check to make sure that proper voltage is getting to the thermostat. I'm getting 240 volts there. If you don't have proper voltage at those two top screws, check to make sure the wire nuts at the top are nice and secured with a good connection, and check to make sure these two screws that we tested are nice and tight. After you check those connections, turn the power back on and test the wires coming into the thermostat again. If you still don't have proper voltage, there's an issue with the wire between where the electrical comes into the water heater and where the wire connects to the first thermostat. If you do have proper voltage, take a screwdriver and push on this big red reset button. If it clicks in, then the water heater reached a dangerous temperature level, the safety button was triggered, and the electrical to the elements was turned off. Most likely, one of the water heater thermostats probably never turned itself off, and that's why the water reached a dangerous temperature and clicked this button right here to kill the electrical to the elements. You may have even noticed that your water at a faucet was scorching hot before you ultimately lost hot water altogether. That is a surefire sign that you have a bad thermostat. So if a thermostat's bad, you'll likely continue to have the same issues, and it's best to just go ahead and replace it with brand new thermostats. Go ahead and replace the top and the bottom. If this reset button wasn't tripped at all, the next step is to test both of the thermostats for continuity. Go ahead and pull out your electrical meter and your screwdriver. Also, turn the power to the water heater off. We'll start with this top thermostat. Now, you've turned the breaker to the water heater off, but let's put a voltmeter on these two top screws just to make sure that we're not getting any voltage coming in here. Alright, I'm at 0 volts. Perfect. Now that we've verified that no voltage is coming into this thermostat, we'll go ahead and disconnect all of these wires and pull them off into the side. It's a good idea to take a picture of these wires so you don't forget where they're supposed to go. Now, I'm going to switch my meter to continuity. I'll test my leads, and I'm getting a positive signal that the circuit is closed on my leads. This meter is good to go. To check the upper thermostat, check for continuity at the screws where I put these arrows. You will check the upper left screws and the upper right screws. The bottom half of the thermostat is a little bit more tricky. If the water in the water heater is currently below the temperature that it's set to, you should have continuity between these two screws here. You will not have continuity between these two screws. However, in the rare circumstance where you're checking the thermostats but the water is all the way hot, you should not have continuity between these two screws, and you should have continuity between these two screws. Again, If the water in the heater is cold, you will have continuity here, but you will not have continuity here. If the water in the heater is hot, you will not have continuity here, but you will have continuity here. Now, if for some reason you didn't have continuity on any of those tests, this is a bad thermostat and it needs to be replaced. Now that we've tested continuity at the top thermostat, we'll move to the bottom. Again, take this panel off, move this insulation out of the way, pull these wires out of the way. I'm going to get some tape and actually tape these down. Pull this plastic piece off, disconnect these wires, and pull them off to the side. Now I'll check for continuity between these two screws here. I have continuity, so this thermostat is good. Now that I've checked both thermostats for continuity, I'll go ahead and put the wires back on them. Now that we've checked the thermostats, whether they're good or not, we still need to check these elements. Just to verify, the power is still off. I never turn the power on. You have to have the power off to check the elements. So we'll begin at the upper. I'll remove these two wires off of the screws. Pull them out into the side. To check elements, you're going to be checking the ohms. I have one lead on each screw, and as you can see, I'm getting 12.7, 12.8 ohms. What you want to see is a number, but you want a steady number. If this is jumping all over the place between 0, 20, 5, you probably have a bad element. If you have 0 ohms on your element, or you have OL, you have a bad element, and it needs to be replaced. This element is good, so I'll reconnect the wires, and I'll do the same thing with this bottom element. Pull the wires off and check it for ohms. I'm getting 12.3 ohms on this element, and it's nice and steady, pretty solid number. It's not fluctuating a lot. This is a good element. So I'll go ahead and put the wires back on it since I don't need to replace it. Alright, there you go. Hopefully you found the issue. If any of those tests failed, that's the part that you need to replace. The part that failed, replace it, turn the power back on, test it out, see if you get hot water. Hopefully you do. Now, if you tested everything and everything passed, well, drop it in the comments. You know, we'll get in there. I'll try to help you out, see if we can pinpoint the issue. Watch the video again. Go through all the tests again. Make sure that you did everything right. We'll get it figured out. We'll get your hot water back, and you're going to have a great day.